got beef with me? Who got beef with me?
Welcome, guys. I'm back. Today we're gonna be watching the Dead Meat, uh, some horror awards. We're gonna watch a little bit of Dead Meat horror awards. We're gonna look at it, see who won this year. I've been watching Dead Meat since I was like 2019. Yeah, 2019. So I was like 19. So yeah, let's check out the guys' content today, man.
Tim, do you have those script revisions? How do I pronounce this? I'll swing it.
Do we still have a dance number?
Oh,
They're pretty good.
Yeah. We gotta go.
It's the 2025 Dead Meat Horror Awards. Ready?
Okay.
Hey everyone, we're thrilled to welcome you back to the Dead Meat Horror Awards, where we honor the best of the genre from the past year. This year, we'd like to thank our sponsor, NordVPN, who we'll be hearing from at the end of the show.
It's so exciting that 4 years in, we still have plenty of new and thrilling things to talk about thanks to horror fans and filmmakers. I think everyone can agree that 2024 was a particularly outstanding year for the genre.
As per usual, we were treated to a slew of sequels and remakes with innovative follow-ups to recent favorites and surprising new perspectives on old classics.
And of course, horror also treated us to some of the most original movies of the year. From grounded and gritty to colorful and stylized, this year's nominees proved just how much this genre is capable of.
Yeah, in fact, the movies were so exemplary, some of them broke into the mainstream. The Substance, Nosferatu, and Alien Romulus were all recognized by the traditional award shows.
It's the kind of acknowledgement and respect that we hope to continue seeing in the future.
But in the meantime, we'll pick up the slack, since there's a lot of incredible work being done. That's why we at Dead Meat, alongside other award shows like the Saturns and the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, will continue to uplift and celebrate the wonderful talent behind our favorite horror movies. And for the first time this year, we'll be getting a look at some upcoming movies as well, thanks to our partners at Neon.
Tonight, we'll be handing out 12 awards thanks to the addition of our brand new Prime Row for production design. Once again, we've been joined by a panel consisting of friends and film buffs who love the genre just as much as we do. We'll introduce you to them later, but for now, we'll turn things over to our good friend and co-host, Soren Gavoyich.
Thanks, guys. I gotta say, it was no easy task narrowing down our nominees from more than 150 horror movies that came out in 2024. I mean, seriously, it was very difficult. There was a lot of lively debate. But while we couldn't honor all of them with a nomination, we'd like to highlight as many as we can with a montage. Enjoy!
The living, the dead, can they coexist? That's what we're here to find out.
Nosferatu, bro. That was a good movie.
It will make your stomachs beat fast. It may even make you want to die.
Run. You can hide, but you'll never get away.
I was wondering when you were finally going to show.
Sometimes a long path leads us to the right place.
Hey, the sausage and the butts going on in the background. Make sausage, no, the butts and the fucking pastry. So if I'm looking up, I'm not looking at God, I'm looking at the game.
You'll understand soon enough why are you doing this? Because you let us.
Sometimes I don't think you're right.
Oh, yeah, but that is scary as fuck.
Shit. Yeah, well, it is fucking bad.
Daddy!
What are you
you animals.
Worry about what's gonna happen to you.
Smile. Pretty girls should always smile.
It's the only way to stop the monster.
Monsters aren't real.
But that fucking scene of when she was yelling, what's that? M Night Shyamalan. God damn, I can't say the word. When his daughter was screaming about it, that shit was funny.
Woke up that in her hands, huh? That's a fucking weird way to put it. You can't control anything. Blood will be spilled.
It's good about that. It's good. I'm fine. I would think about this movie. Looking back, there was a lot of good movies that came out this year on me. What the fuck? Limp Bizkit.
Let's break stuff. We'd like to kick things off with a category that I think belongs at all movie award shows, regardless of genre.
From dance sequences to monster movement to simulated violence, stunts and choreography allow horror movies to bend the human body in ways that frighten and amaze.
But those amazing moments don't come without risks. With cast and crew putting their safety and bodies on the line, it's up to talented stunt coordinators and choreographers to make sure people are comfortable and capable of executing a scene.
Here to present the finalists for Best Stunts and Choreography is someone who's not afraid to throw their body into their performances.
Hey y'all! Thank you so much, James, and thank you so much, Chelsea.
I've seen Blink.
It's Janelle
Blink
Monáe
fight.
here. And as a performer, you get used to bringing different
seen a lot of horror movies this year.
to a
That's
variety
crazy.
of projects. I've played robots. Hello. Soldiers. A Teen Titans! And twins. Yes, there are two of me. Just go there with me. I've danced, I've fought, and I've run for my life. And none of that would be possible without the talented
Blink
stunt
fight.
coordinators and choreographers
And,
like tonight's
what movie was
nominees.
that?
That's right.
No,
Let's give them a big
Black
round of
Onion.
applause. The nominees for Best Stunts or Choreography are Abigail.
Though Alicia Weir had extensive dance background, she was a newcomer to ballet, especially dancing on pointe. She trained for 8 weeks with choreographer Belinda Murphy to shoot the film's opening routine to Swan Lake. For the film's fight scenes, Weir did some of the flying and wire work herself, with Rochelle Beinart serving as her stunt double for the most difficult sequences. A highlight of the movie is the puppet dance sequence between Abigail and Sammy as she controls her. Catherine Newton used her ballet expertise to develop a 3-minute dance with Murphy. They assumed that director's radio silence would only use a portion of it. Instead, the filmmakers opted to shoot the whole thing.
Alien Romulus.
Production designer Neiman Marshall collaborated with the stunt team to build rigging into the set itself, turning the spaceship Renaissance into a playground that accommodated the needs of the film's copious wire work.
We have incorporated stunt rails so that all the harnesses and all the mechanics actually are designed into the set, so we can have trolleys that run through here with one point in the center.
While shooting the zero-gravity sequences in Alien Romulus, supervising stunt coordinator Mark Franklin Henson worked with the actors to make the action feel grounded and natural, even as the characters floated through space.
Max.
Mads is a kinetic infection horror film, impressively consisting of a single unbroken 90-minute take. To achieve this monumental task, director David Moreau had to rely on his cast and crew. Every movement from them, as well as the camera itself, was meticulously choreographed by cinematographer Philip Lozano. A single flubbed sequence, or something as simple as the camera running out of battery, would mean they had to start all over again from the beginning. Moreau rehearsed with his actors for 1 week in a room, 1 week on location, and 1 week with the crew before spending one final 4th week actually filming, until they nailed the unbroken 90-minute take.
Smile 2.
Actress Naomi Scott only had 2.5 days of dance rehearsals to play troubled pop star Sky Riley. Luckily, choreographer Celia Ralston Hall had years of experience working with artists like Alicia Keys, as well as numerous films and commercials. She used that experience to help develop Sky's artistic style.
I was really craving something that was immediately pop, but not bubblegum. I wanted something that felt more artistically inclined, more raw edge, more personal, that had this kind of eccentric nature to it. And we discussed, I wanted it to feel like somewhere between dance and movement.
Rosenhall also helped create the film's demonic flash mob, which featured the same backup dancers used in the tour rehearsal scenes. The movement of the mob was inspired by Bob Fosse, along with the movement.
Hey man, like I appreciate these award shows and everything James Ray and Janice and his wife and his whole crew do, but it's just crazy how like a couple years ago, like this guy was just a random guy making horror movie videos. He's doing videos on things he loved. He turned into a horror award show. It's like that's crazy. It's like if you really like love something and you put your passion, it's your passion. You put your time and effort in it. It's crazy how much things can pay off for you. Like 'cause it was like yesterday when James and Janice was just like a regular guy, just doing kind of kills, and now he's got his own fucking award show. This is insane, bro. It's really insane.
Of ghosts in Hideo Nakata films like The Ring.
The substance.
Though Margaret Qualley is a trained dancer, she struggled getting into Sue's confident mindset when performing her aerobicized dance routines. She worked one-on-one with choreographer Marianne Motine, who helped her learn a pop star-esque movement style that she would never have come up with on her own. For the film's violent showdown between Elizabeth and Sue, wire work was needed to pull off the intense fight choreography. The sequence was as physically demanding for the crew as it was for the actors, as camera and boom operators had to sprint after Moore as she ran down the apartment's winding hallways. The film's climax used a fire hose to spray blood at an audience full of stunt performers, with the hose itself controlled by a stunt performer in the Monstro Elizasu suit.
VHS Beyond.
The sci-fi horror anthology features stunts and choreography as diverse as its segments, from musical numbers to alien encounters. The segment Dream Girl, directed by Virat Paul, features a Bollywood song and dance spectacle choreographed by Abhishek Pai, who had previously worked as an assistant choreographer on several Bollywood films. Actress Namrata Sheth only had 2 days to prepare and learn the musical number. For the short Live and Let Dive, director Justin Martinez combined digital effects with real skydiving footage. For Kate Siegel's segment Stowaway, she was reluctant to rely heavily on wire work for anti-gravity effects. Only one wire stunt was used, when actress Alana Pierce was violently thrown across the spaceship. The rest of the time her character was floating around, Pierce was atop 2 apple boxes on a furniture dolly and had to sell the effect through her movement alone.
And the prime rib for best stunts or choreography goes to the moment you all been waiting for. Smile 2.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie.
Congratulations. Congratulations to the entire team of Smile 2 for a toe-tapping and skin-crawling good time.
Congratulations to Smile 2. The goal of most films is to make their choreography feel natural and spontaneous. It was a treat to see a movie do the exact opposite and to bring movement to the forefront for some unique scares.
While our culture has thankfully come around to the value of the real and tangible on screen, it's come at the partial expense of an entire industry. Lately, we've seen an unfortunate increase in studios trying to hide the work of visual effects artists for the sake of advertising their movies.
While it's true some productions might use digital effects as a band-aid or a way to save money, others cleverly utilize them to bring their creative visions to life. Those are the films we want to honor here tonight.
Presenting this award is a filmmaker who knows VFX aren't just for big blockbuster movies. They're also a helpful tool for indie filmmakers overcoming the limitations of a low budget. In fact, he won the prime rib for visual effects for his work in his featured debut, Betty Loves You. Say it with me now, it's Carl Holt.
Thanks, James and Chelsea. At their finest, digital effects immerse us so completely that we don't even question what we're seeing. A form of movie magic where, with just a click, I could summon fire in the palm of my hand. Or interact with wild exotic animals from distant realms, each rendered with astonishing realism. Majestic. The nominees in this category don't just make things look real, they make us feel. And
And whether the work comes from big studio teams or independent creators, great effects aren't just impressive. They're invisible. The nominees for Best Digital Effects are
I think
Alien Romulus.
I didn't see Alien.
Director Fede Alvarez wanted Alien Romulus' practical and digital effects to work together seamlessly, with the audience unable to tell where one ended and the other began. This included sets, spaceships, and of course the aliens themselves. ILM worked under visual effects supervisor Nelson Sepulveda Fauser to match the movements of the xenomorphs and facehuggers to their practical versions. The effects house was responsible for one of the film's most disturbing visuals, when an X-ray wand reveals a chestburster gestating inside a character's torso. To achieve this, they digitally built all the character's organs, skeletal, muscular, and circulatory structures, and then added an animation to match the practical chestburster puppet. They also animated the floating acid during the tense anti-gravity sequence, using multiple fluid simulations.
We provided a series of acid simulations to the animation department to time and place for client approval. These meshes were then published back, along with the required data, which FX used as a starting point to drive the multiple fluid simulations, allowing us to maintain the visually approved look, while also adding in complex simulation dynamics.
Arcadian.
Arcadian follows a father and his two sons facing an alien threat at the end of the world. Director Benjamin Brewer wanted an ambitious CGI monster, and in spite of the film's small budget, was able to pull it off with collaboration and creativity. He designed the film's central monster himself, and brought it to life with the help of a team led by VFX supervisor Ben Burrell and his brother, a sculptor at Mondo.
So it's actually kind of fun because this monster is attacking these two fake brothers that was designed by two real brothers.
The monster's appearance and physiology changes throughout the film to keep the characters and the audience on their toes. The result is a uniquely memorable, frightening, and original creature.
The First Omen.
This Omen prequel gives audiences a look at the Antichrist Damien's demonic father, a jackal that preys on young women at the behest of powerful forces in the Catholic Church. The jackal stays mostly obscured in darkness, only showing itself a little bit at a time. That didn't stop VFX supervisors James Cooper and Ben King from creating a fully detailed model anyway. They believed this would add realism and make the monster feel complete, even if the audience was only seeing a claw or its mouth. Effects company Hern Hill also digitally enhanced most of the film's prosthetic work, such as Father Harris's head wound in the opening scene, as well as Paolo being cut in half by a truck. The team worked on background and environmental effects, creating crowds, fire simulations, and set extensions to demodernize Rome and make it truly feel like the 1970s.
Infested.
When making a movie about killer spiders, the most important element that has to work is the spiders themselves. Sebastian Vanecek, director of this claustrophobic creature feature, knew that their CGI spiders had to seem just as real as the 200 actual spiders on set. The VFX team studied the real spiders to capture the unpredictable way the arachnids move.
I had the CGI team with me all the time, so we talked a lot when we were shooting the real spiders and studied them really, really closely, their legs, how they behave, why they go here, why they go there, how they move.
This combination of the practical and digital, as well as the strategic use of darkness to partially obscure the spider's movements, made the CGI appear skin-crawlingly realistic, even with the film's limited budget.
A Quiet Place, Day One.
For this Quiet Place prequel, director Michael Charnosky wanted to approach the alien invaders in a unique and unexpected way. ILM visual effects supervisor Malcolm Humphreys and animation supervisor Michael Lum developed the creatures' movements for the new urban setting of New York City, having them behave in ways not previously seen, like scrambling up skyscrapers. In Day One, the creatures move faster and appear in greater numbers, acting as a stampede rather than individual predators. But the effects artists didn't use a crowd system. Each of the creatures in the film is hand-animated and handcrafted.
It takes a lot of imagination on everyone's part, but it's kind of fun, too, to also have talented people from ILM standing there being like, yeah, that's awesome, we'll make it look really cool.
ILM also filled in New York City around the UK backlot where Day One was filmed, digitally extending streets, adding heights to buildings, and filling in backgrounds. They even created the memorable Manhattan Bridge destruction, seen by Sam from the rooftop in Chinatown.
VHS Beyond.
After his work as a VFX artist on previous VHS films, Justin Martinez was invited back to direct his own segment in the anthology series' newest entry. He leaned into his special effects background and made the craziest concept he could come up with. The result was Live and Let Dive, a skydiving trip turned plane crash and alien invasion. Martinez combined practical footage of real skydiving with CGI sequences that culminated in the appearance of an alien. Knowing the alien would be shown in broad daylight, he spent 2 months designing the model all the way down to its pores.
Knowing that I was going to be judged by...
It is crazy how, like, fucking insanely visual effects are. It'd be cool to fucking be a visual effects artist, man. It's like, I know it's a stressful job, but they still look cool, like shit you can create.
By horror fans, myself as well, I want that to look practical.
The result is an intense and memorable creature design that holds its own among the franchise's pantheon of practical monsters.
And the prime rib for best digital effects goes to...
Probably gonna be...
Drumroll, Benny. Alien Romulus. Congratulations to the crew of Alien Romulus for your mind-blowing and chest-bursting effects work.
Congratulations to the effects artists of Alien Romulus. This film is such a perfect demonstration of why digital and practical effects should be working together and not against each other.
Speaking of which, whether it's a crazy kill or an inhuman creature, practical effects have allowed horror movies to create the stuff of dreams and nightmares. But while it's an old school industry, effects artists are continually pushing boundaries and reaching new heights with their work.
Our nominees in this category range from big budget blockbusters using cutting edge technology to scrappy indie efforts relying on creative problem solving. But all of them were powered by a love for the practical.
Thanks, James and Chelsea. The horror genre has always had a long history of practical effects, from black and white monsters to the cutting edge technology of today. This year's nominees made us feel a lot of things: whimsy and wonder, fear and disgust. But most importantly, they added to that history with their incredible work. The nominees for Best Practical Effects are Alien Romulus.
For this latest entry in the Alien franchise, director Fede Alvarez used a variety of practical effects for the film's spaceships, weapons, and creatures. Ian Hunter, who worked on Alien Resurrection, headed the team that built miniatures for the space probe and the spacecraft Corvalon 4. Weta Workshop built various face huggers, including fully animatronic and remote-controlled versions, as well as stunt-safe models that could be thrown across the room. For one effect, Tippett Studio used stop-motion animation to create the reanimated rat seen in the ship's archived research footage. For Romulus's chestburster, Alvarez tasked Alec Gillis of Studio Gillis with creating a new design based on human birth. And for the full-grown xenomorph, Legacy Effects helped develop a new dangerous appearance.
He wanted it to feel as if a character ran their hand against it, much like a shark's skin, they would be cut.
It included translucent panels in the arms and legs, which light could shine through for a unique insect-like look. Legacy Effects also worked on the Offspring, a horrific human xenomorph hybrid. They sculpted silicone pieces that were glued directly to the skin of Robert Bobrowski, the 7-foot-tall college basketball player cast in the role. From the beginning of this sequel's production, director Tim Burton wanted everything practical that was possible, honoring the original's legacy.
The unique aspect of this film, more than any film that I've worked on, I would say, in the last decade, is that nearly everything that I know of that was written in the script has been produced as a practical effect. And has been executed on the set as a practical effect as well.
This included an afterlife crawling with over 70 characters, not including background players, and the grossly memorable baby Beetlejuice. For this mini ghost with the most, the effects department cut up a baby doll and fitted it with new pieces. It became a rod puppet that was operated by 3 puppeteers on set. The film also features stop-motion animation during a plane crash turned shark attack, which took around 6 months to complete.
Damn.
In a Violent Nature.
As an effects artist in his own right, filmmaker Chris Nash pushed to create unique set pieces for In a Violent Nature, his tribute to slashers. He succeeded many times over, including with one kill so unique it's nominated in its own category. Nash pitched the project to longtime friend Stephen Kostansky, while the two worked on effects for the Prime Rib-nominated Psycho Gorman.
You get really intelligent, creative, practical effects guys who've seen everything.
They're going to think of something fresh.
Kostansky sculpted several iterations of Johnny's face and created life casts of all the actors. Thanks to Nash's careful storyboarding, they were able to build their effects efficiently based on what would be in frame. The film's log splitter kill was particularly difficult, as they only had one body and one take to capture the entire 3-minute-long dismembering.
The substance.
For her flesh-focused film, writer-director Coralie Farjat turned to makeup effects designer Pierre-Olivier Persson to create the various practical mutations of main character Elizabeth Sparkle.
I thought that half of it would be the effects, and a mix of techniques, and she was like, no, I want really flesh and blood to be real.
The first transformation was the birth of Sue from Elizabeth's back. It used a sliced open silicone dummy that was so realistic, it was stitched up on camera with needle and thread. Sue herself was outfitted with prosthetic breasts to sell her inhuman perfection. Another transformation was dubbed the Golem and required actress Demi Moore to sit through 7 hours of prosthetic makeup. The final monstrous form, suitably nicknamed Monstro, required actress Margaret Qualley to don a full-body foam latex suit inspired by the Elephant Man. The character meets an explosive end with a practical effect that blasted blood everywhere.
Stop motion.
For his feature debut, stop-motion animator Robert Morgan wanted to depict the obsessive experience he had creating his short film, Bobby Yeah.
I got pneumonia while I was making it because I kind of was pushing myself too hard and making myself sick.
On top of the film's various moments of gore, makeup effects artist Dan Martin also created the cast of puppets used by the film's main character, Ella. To make the puppets look appropriately grimy without degrading the materials, the effects team created fake dirt by putting brown and black silicone glass through a meat grinder. After the initial shoot, Morgan spent 6 weeks animating the puppets, which were then composited onto the live-action footage. The film's frightening villain, the Ash Man, was also built as a full creature suit, worn and performed by actor James Swanton, who also appeared as the Jackal in The First Omen.
Terrifier 3.
Art the Clown's latest gore fest came with a higher budget than its predecessors, allowing series creator Damien Leone to expand his effects department. Providing much of the blood and bits this time was Oscar-nominated effects artist Christian Tinsley and his team at Tinsley Studio.
Finding out the right place to, put these wires and how you get the blood to spray in a certain way, and these brilliant artists who come in and paint it to make it look like flesh. I mean, it's not just, hey, let's just kill somebody. There's a lot more going on with these scenes to appreciate and admire.
Tinsley created a digital sculpt and mold of Art's head for the horrific birth scene, and crafted the prosthetics and fake body parts needed to pull off the ambitious shower kill. He also applied the makeup for Victoria's pale girl transformation and sculpted a new look that better fit David Howard Thornton, allowing him more range of motion in his face. Jason Baker of Collision Studios designed Art's weapons, including the Franken saw, and created a...
That's why I haven't watched Terrifier, but goddamn, but I can't even throw nothing up. Shit.
Asks for a memorable dream sequence featuring a moving Holy Mary statue. For the film's many gory kills, production went through multiple 55-gallon drums of fake blood.
And the prime rib for the best practical effects goes to The Substance! Congratulations to the crew of The Substance. Your work made this film sparkle.
Thank you, Deadmeat, for this award. I'm really thankful. This is great. I love the name, by the way. It sounds like something out of a Clive Barker novel. And even though I'm a vegetarian, I love it. And can't wait to get my rib. I'm really happy to see practical effects coming back to life. I felt really lucky to.
Hell yeah, we taught it CGI, man.
Designer on the substance, and hopefully we'll see more crazy projects like that using that kind of effect in the future. Thanks again and enjoy the show.
Congratulations to the team behind The Substance. The movie's effects are not only incredible, but so integral to the storytelling. They truly elevate the entire film.
Back in 2023, we had the privilege of having modern horror master Mike Flanagan as a presenter. While this upcoming Stephen King adaptation isn't...
All right, guys, we're gonna stop right there. Okay, if you want to check out the rest of the Dead Meat Awards, go ahead and head to the channel. I think I'm try to put a link in this down in the comment section to the video. Go watch the Portuguese guys award show, man. They really put a lot of work into this, and they do a lot of research. I know this shit is not easy. It take a long time to put somebody together. So go and head over to Dead Meat, man. Check out them guys. Those guys created a really good project. Right, man. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. And then, all right. Now it's time to get into the meat. Into the meat of the day, baby. How we feel about the Steelers draft? Okay, guys, listen, man. This weekend this past week we had a draft. A lot of shit happened over the draft, man. First, let's start. Of course, my guy. Yeah, I might go here. Of course. What the fuck? I would have printed out the juke joint. Oh yeah, shit. Look at this shit. Look at this. Hold on. I would have put out the juke joint. Nigga, hell yeah. They had a light skin. They ever had light skin vampire, nigga. I would have went on that bitch too, boy. We talking about? I seen the fucking Standards. That was a good movie, bro. All right, but hey, man, there's enough about Standards. It was a good movie. Damn, I seen a lot of horror movies, Sinners. No, Nosferatu. Late Night Talk with the Devil. But yeah, that's really like. No, it's 2024. You can count. Yeah, that's 3. What? My Standards. Last top next one. What else I seen? I seen one more. Ooh, I don't know what all I seen. I don't remember all that shit I seen. I just know I seen quite a bit of horror movie this year, man. Oh, I see Smile too. I don't know, but hey, yeah, no. This is football though. It's football time. All you fucking horror nerds and movie nerds, get off fucking here about that. We don't want you around here, buddy. Steelers kids. Do y'all hang out with Steelers kids when y'all was in school? By matter of fact, man, I'm not gonna lie. Steelers kids was it was some baddies, some badass hoes in the Steelers. I'm not gonna lie, with the Steelers kids, y'all some baddies, bro. Nigga, nigga, if I had to go back in time and I go back to high school, I would have been a Steelers kid, bro. You would have been sniping, boy.